Hello, Taurus. This is your home light security reading for the month of April, kind of a little bit the beginning of May as well, because they always kind of trail over a little bit. Taurus. Alrighty, my gorgeous souls. Before we go anywhere, I'm going to be pulling out some Taurus cards. Ah, that's just funny. I'm sorry from what I was just being given from Spirit. All right, look. Spirit is telling me first off that you are having some details you need to see. You need to acknowledge. You need to change and shift. They may seem like they're small and minute, but they're really actually important. And they are definitely things that you are being told to acknowledge as you move through this month and into the beginning of next month. I am getting some, I guess, worry, like fear of wanting to be perfect, trying to know what's the right thing to do, and like indecisiveness, I guess. But I'm feeling like you need to just do it. I'm feeling like whatever it is, you need to just do it. Plain and simple, because all that is fear. Really. All that is fear. And it's making you question your intuition, and it's making you hide part of your true soul self. And I was saying in the reading that I did, the last Breaking the Cage reading, are you possessing you? I mean, are you calling back all the powers of you to you? Or are you caught somewhere in between frustration and anger, and not knowing, the unknowing? And I'm receiving the feeling of what you get when you get a download. So you have information being given to you. Are you receiving it? Or and sometimes I'm not going to even deny, a lot of times when we get downloads, it's not like you're hearing the information, you're just feeling it, but it is getting into you. So meditation might help you mellow out right now so that you can, wow, so you can root chakra it. So you can set it into foundation, find security in it, safety in it, and be able to grow within it. Anything else? And they're giving me the don't hold on to the grief, sorrow, shame. The coulda, shoulda, woulda. I could have done that. If I would have done it that way. If I would have just said, that stuff will drive you mad. It's not worth it. And it'll make you hold on to even more grief, sorrow, and shame. That all that does is hurt the heart chakra. So let that go. It's just giving you ideas of the rules, the walls, the boundaries that you should be setting that maybe you didn't in the past. And when that comes up to you, it's actually meant to help you go, well, now in the future, not I'm going to do this, but in the future, I'm going to set this boundary this way. This is part of what needs to shift. And not waiting for the situation to take place again, just start setting it. Just start setting the foundation. Because, like I said, there's certain things that you need to identify with. You need to acknowledge details that are being overlooked. Now, while I was talking, I was shuffling the cards. And the first card that came out, I can't make this up, is adjustment. There's adjustments that need to be made. I was just saying it from a different point of view. This is Pluto and Venus. Pluto, Venus, and Saturn. It is speaking to you of fire. It is Libra, but what it's speaking to you of is putting yourself on the scales like the Libra, not being the scale, putting yourself on one side of the other, taking the initiative to actually shift the scales, to redirect it as needed, to acknowledge when you place yourself on the scale what that changes, and then what needs to be made with those changes so that you can redirect the soul as needed. Basically, this is also speaking of it's Hebrew. It's the land. It's also speaking of learning the lesson, but healing the heart by understanding the knowledge that comes with putting yourself on those scales and actually making the adjustment by placing yourself on them to see what happens. Because, and I'm saying it that way because of the card is the scales. And what I'm being shown is if you look at Libra energy, is the way to explain it. Libra energy often is, weighing of the scales, but people forget to put themselves on it. And when they're not on the scale, it doesn't weigh right. It's not showing you the truth. So, in order to get the truth and to reset the foundation as needed, you need to actually place yourself on the scale and see where that changes it so that you're not missing the detail, not missing the chance to learn the knowledge of what that changes, because without doing it, the change is not being made. The next thing that's coming out is the Princess of Wands. And she is confident, she's daring, she's willing to go after her freedom. She's willing to, run away from what's not good for her, to go after something new, to try something new, to overcoming her fears from her bad patterns, to letting go. But they tend to learn the hard way. And this is part of what this energy is if you don't put yourself on the scale, you're going to get snagged by that tail and it's going to pull you back. This is saying learn the hard way, but you've been learning the hard way. It's time to come into the courage. It's time to fall on your face by making mistakes and learning. Because how else will you ever become the emperor? It's really quite simple. How else are you going to become the emperor? How else are you going to become the important status that you are? How else are you going to become the leader that you are? How else are you going to measure up? This is speaking to you also in the Hebrew way of speaking. It's ha in Hebrew. It's of willpower, thought, speech, and action, which controls determination. So this is bringing it into actual authority by speaking it as well. Trust within your intuition, trust within your third eye, because it's definitely activated, it's definitely on. There are definitely messages coming to you. What are you afraid of? Because that's the only thing that's keeping you from creating everything you want, from flipping the script, so to speak. Is literally what I just heard. From flipping the script, and going exactly where you want it to go. Because it's there. It's just up to you. You have the wealth of everything that you could possibly want coming for you if you are coming into your power, if you are paying attention to the details and making the correct changes. This is actually quite glorious. But there's somebody else speaking. Let me see what this has to say. Kind of getting caught in here. Oh, well, from one tarot deck to another. I end up changing the bags they're in, so I have no idea what I'm pulling when I pull them. Well, maybe I. Okay, well, why are you flipped upside down? What in the world? What the world? What the world do I have going on with my card? I have to correct them first, real fast. They're like half turned up, half turned not, they're just going all kinds of different directions. All right. What else does Taurus need to hear for the month of April? What else does Taurus need to hear for the month of April? It's the Six of Cups. God, you guys have everything coming at you if you'll just claim it. Solar benevolence. You have everything coming at you if you'll just claim it. If you'll just be in control of your emotions, you'll calm down, slow down, pay attention to the details. Your noble truth is in there. You got the star card even. Everything, the only thing that's going against you, if anything is going against you, is your own fear and your own doubt of coming into your power. Like I said, all you have to do is put yourself on the scale, reweigh the truth, and see the truth in a new level of consciousness. And as long as you're doing that, it should be working gloriously for you. Now, let's take a look at the astrology itself. That kind of makes sense because, all right, I always tell you guys according to where the sun is. Where the sun is on a universal level is the houses that you're actually walking through. Now, if you haven't paid any attention to that information right down there below, this is also going to help you to understand the rest of this reading because I do it according to your sun, your moon, and your rising. But if it's your sun, we're in your core. If it's in your moon, we're in your emotions. If it's in your rising, we're in how you're manifesting more. So it helps you to understand what I'm speaking when you're listening and evaluating these readings. Now, Taurus, you guys up until the sun doesn't move into Taurus until the 19th. And then depending on your actual birthday of in Taurus, it's technically you're still not in your first house because when the sun is in Aries, you're in your 12th house. And then once you're reborn on your birthday, you're starting your first house. On a universal level, the sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. So this is talking about really observing things from that from that 12th house view, taking it into a new birthing. And then illuminating what they just said from with that rebirthing, illuminating the heart and setting the new foundation from the heart space. You have Mercury, which is in your 12th house, up until the 10th of April. The sun moves out on the 19th. They both move into your first house. But you also have Chiron, which is still going to be in your 12th house for a long time. You have Pallas, which will be moving out as well. I don't know the exact date, but they're leaving that 12th house. So Chiron is the wounded healer. You have the sun, Mercury, and Pallas all here in your 12th house. But what no astrologer is telling you is you also have Eris right on the cusp or entering the cusp, and she moves slow as Moses. She is slow as shit, like molasses slow, okay? And Eris is trouble, toil, and strife. She is the goddess of trouble, toil, and strife. She is leaving Aries and she is moving into Taurus slowly. But all of these planets, the sun, Mercury, Pallas, are all going to be crossing over her as they go into Taurus. So this is putting like a Mercury retrograde spin on your 12th house, meaning you may be way too much in your head. So this is saying, let's stop and let's look at the facts. Okay, as we come into a new birthing. And I'm getting a whole lot of cinnamon. So this is, let's truly get to the facts of your spiritual soul self. Let's get to what is keeping you from your higher vibration by acknowledging where you're in your inner blindness. Your inner blindness is your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities that you hold on to that actually make you comfortable, because that's part of the 12th house. Eris, trouble, toil, strife. I'm being told this time around. I always say that I look at Eris as Medusa, because I see Medusa as, it was so unfair according to the stories of Medusa. She was a beautiful woman. It wasn't her fault that she was attacked. It wasn't her fault that the gods did what they did. She was just a beautiful woman, and so the gods ended up jealous because the other gods liked her, long story short, and because of it, they turned her into this evil, ugly thing, with the snakes coming out of her head. And every time she looked at anybody, she turned them to stone, meaning she had to live the rest of her life lonely. Half snake, half human. But that wasn't her fault. She was dealt a shit hand of injustice. But see, there's a commercial out now that has Medusa, and she's like at a bar and she's wearing a pair of sunglasses, which the way spirit is giving me is even Medusa could find the fuck you to the gods. She just put on some sunglasses and then she was able to have social life again. The only way she wasn't looking at them, she wasn't freezing them and turning them into stone anymore unless she took the glasses off. So this is asking you, where's your inner resentment, your inner trouble, toil, and strife, not being smart enough to find a way to say fuck you to your inner negative godding energy, your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities. Where are you holding on to that resentment that's keeping you from healing? The sun is trying to illuminate it. Mercury and its inner communication from the depths of your inner soul, of the hidden parts that are still healing or need healing. Where is Medusa trying to show you how to put on a pair of sunglasses and make the changes so that as you come into your first house, your brand new awakening, you really are coming into a brand new awakening. It is asking you how and what is it that you have to see to overcome over this month. Like I said, Mercury moves out on the 10th. So the communication is right there right now. Then the sun is going to illuminate over it. Where are you in Medusa, or Medusa who's got her sunglasses on energy, bringing the healing forward, and then coming into that Taurus energy, coming into possession of yourself again, coming back into the limelight of the possession of yourself, your inner view, how you view yourself, your identification, coming into a higher frequency of it as it goes from the 12th house to the first house. So this is asking you, where are you coming into the possession of yourself? Where are you coming into the power of yourself? Where are you identifying with what you've been ignoring or what's been over your head and you're not seeing? Because the second house, which is Taurus, is ultimately the possessions of what helps us manifest the law of attraction into our self-worth, self-value, self-esteem in positive ways. With Uranus here, is speaking to us of our independence, our individuality, our uniqueness, our freedom. The sun and Mercury going to be coming in, but are they coming in from that level of still viewing things from Medusa, who's full of resentment, trouble, toil, and strife, or the Medusa who put some sunglasses on and said, I learned how to tell all of you to fuck off because I got my power back, bitches. I might still be a snake with snake. I might have snake hair and be half snake, but you know what? I'm just fucking fine. So, where are you taking that acceptance, that higher vibration? Where are you making it work for you? And you're going to be going through a lot of this self discovery over the next month and a half. That's actually a lot of really powerful, good energy for you. It's just being honest and real and getting into the depths of it. Now, when you move into your actual second house, this is where we have Ceres. Ceres is the threefold. She is karma. But you also have Lilith here. And this is in Gemini for you. This is speaking to you of, are you doing what I was just saying? Are you going through those energies and allowing it to dictate to you just how worthy you are, how valuable you are, how liberated you are? Are you bringing that into a new threefold for a whole new lifestyle, a whole new life? A whole new direction? Are you breathing that fire back into you? Are you truly getting it? Are you truly putting on the glasses that allow you to go anywhere you want to go again? Are you beaming up to the next vibration? Because if not, Ceres here is the threefold, which will force you to go back to the end of line and learn this all over again. And I'm trying to give you the keys you need to get you where you need to go. Now, your third, fourth, fifth, and sixth house does not have anything in it. However, your sixth house is where the full moon is going to take place on the 16th. And it's not just the full moon here. You have Haumea, which is also going into the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. The full moon is going to be going through the cusp, avoid, of course, from Libra to Scorpio. So this is actually what your sixth and your seventh house for the full moon energy on the 16th. And this is directly speaking to you how Maya is with the moon at that time. Haumea is the collective consciousness itself. That's the energy of Haumea, the very collective consciousness. Going into the understanding on a universal level that we're talking about the seventh house and the eighth house, which is the partnerships, the marriages, the business contracts, the relationships that you carry, and the rules, the walls, the boundaries of them. Are they healthy? Are they joint financed? Are they joint efforts? Are they joint? Are they injustice? Are they injustice to one another? It shouldn't just be about you, but it should definitely not about you. It should be in balance. These relationships that you keep should be supporting you, should be helping you to grow and mature into the best you that you can be. So are the people in these relationships that you hold in your life, supporting you? Or are they at least being honest with you to tell you when you're in denial and lying to yourself? The collective consciousness of Haumea and the moon and its vibration is going to be showing itself at that full moon and showing you where these need to shift, where these boundaries need to shift, these rules, these walls, these boundaries, so that they are healthy and able to mature and grow, or where they're not worth continuing because they can't be healthy enough. Haumea is the collective consciousness, and I'm getting a whole lot of, are you creating harmony in an area where harmony was not meant to be? Or are you going to shift it to where it can actually be because you're seeing the details here? I mean, that's a lot of powerful energy for you. The thing is, as you move into your eighth house, wait, into your seventh house of these relationships, you have the south node here, which means there's certain things about the relationships that you've chosen in your life, certain details, certain aspects that maybe you need to start realizing where you're choosing ones that are not healthy, are not actually helping you, because the south node is everything that you're good at, but it's not good for you. So this is specifically speaking about the relationships. And then we're looking at these relationships in general through this full moon energy of also that sixth house, the people, the places, and the things that you are part of in these relationships, these people, places, and things. They consume you. The energy consumes you. It's not just you consuming it. It's part of what creates the manifestation. It's the mundane. The mundane is so much more important to the manifestation because we overlook it. So what is going on in these relationships and the daily responsibilities, the daily groups, places, things, people, the actions that are being done. And on these daily actions, daily mundane maneuvering is what they just said. Are they identifying with where you want to be in life or not? Because that's the big key to acknowledging when it's helping the sacral chakra of the solar plexus. Really. If it's helping you come into your power or if it's taking from it. Now, wow, that's a lot. Now, as you leave your seventh house, you go into your eighth. There's nothing there in the eighth. And the ninth house, you still have Pluto in Capricorn. And it's on its like last 2 years here. So Pluto in Capricorn in the ninth house for you is definitely speaking to you about coming into your soul self, coming back into your power, being the possession of who and what you are, knowing your ethics, your morals, knowing where you stand in your spiritual significance, knowing where you stand in your spiritual beliefs, learning, ability to step outside of the box and learn something new, growth, your spiritual growth, your soulful growth. This is saying we're at the butt end. Pluto here is at the butt end of Capricorn. So it's saying, we're trying to give you every nudge we can to get to truly come into the possession of you, into the power of you, into the authority of you. And will you just trust in it? Will you go for it? What are you afraid of? You can't lose you unless you've misplaced you. And then that's a whole nother subject. We got to go back and replace you, bring you back to yourself, make you feel good, and start making you believe in yourself. If you're already in any of this power, it's soulfully dive head first. Wow, this is a lot of powerful energy for you guys. This is good. As you go into your, what the hell is that for? Pay attention to where you feel inferiority. Oh, others have inferiority over you, and ability where you're feeling like you're not capable or inadequate, because those are your lower vibrations that are keeping you from moving forward. That's nothing more than ego, is what they're just telling me. And that makes you dig into your lower vibrations to stop it. When we get into your 10th house, the outer world and its authority, you have Saturn here, you have Mars here up until the 14th when it moves into Pisces. You also have Juno here, which is sacrifice and commitment. This is saying the only way for you to regain the authority and the power of the outer world of your life is to take it back. Take the power back. By realizing who you are, coming back into your own honor, your own reputation, your own personal prestige, being the foundation of that success itself, and showing the outer world that you have the authority to do that by setting the rules, walls, and boundaries of going, no, nope, nope, nope. I'm not going to allow you to tell me this. I'm not going to allow you to direct me this way. I know how to direct my own life. Thank you. And that's what I'll be following. But this is speaking it. This is actually being able to speak it and take action within it. As you come into that 11th house, we're back to the relationships again. We're back to the outer committees, the communities, your outer work friends, and you have magic abundantly here because you still have Jupiter here. And you have Venus here, and Mars will be moving in, like I said, after the 14th. But are you creating the people, places, and things that consume you in energy? Are they manipulating you or supporting you? Are they supporting the dreams, the goals, the ambitions? Or are they magically manipulating you into supporting theirs? Are you coming into the authority, the possession of yourself, so that you can set yourself with people who do love you and want to help you flourish and grow and bloom? By acknowledging this and creating the proper relationships for you. And then that takes us back to the 12th house, right where we started. So this is very good, powerful stuff, but this is all speaking to you directly of, are you coming into the possession of you? By understanding those details, those small details that you're probably overlooking of grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities that you'd rather keep hidden under the rug. If you're coming back into your own inner authority, your own inner liberation, your self worth, your self value, your self esteem, then you're not going to let those small details trip you up. I love you guys. I'll see you next month.